Let's call the meeting in order. It's 5 o'clock. Pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call.
Strobush.
Here.
Raymond Schneider.
Here.
Van Blaricum.
Here.
Isaacson.
Here.
Vicker.
Here.
Lanham. Here. Leonard.
Here. All right, they'll open up the meeting here. Public comment? Any public comment from any?
Yeah, just
Gloria, go
two
right
quick
ahead.
things.
Okay.
I don't want to get up there. Just two quick things. I'm here to remind everybody to put April 2nd, 3rd, and 4th on their calendars. We'll have more information about that next month, but it's going to be the Design Amory project. We're going to invite people in from the University of Wisconsin Extension Office. They're going to come in and take a look at Amory. Suggest what we can do to improve it economically, aesthetically, and we've got the okay, is that correct? But we haven't gotten the formal letter yet, but we've gotten the okay to go ahead with this. But that's, I just want to remind everybody, put that on your calendar. Everybody in the town is welcome. In fact, everybody in the school district of Amory is welcome. We want ideas from kids, from adults, from everyone. What do you want to see in Amory? The second little piece of information I have is, I want to remind everyone to take the survey online for Polk County about the recycling center. It's very important that they get that information. The Women's Club is also doing a petition that we've been circulating around town. We've got a lot of signatures, and we are going to turn that into the county the first of next week, and they're going to add that also to the total count. So a chance to save the recycling center, I think it benefits everybody in the county. And also to look ahead as to what we can do here in Amory.
Thank you, Gloria.
Yep.
Moving forward here, communications, Wisconsin 46 pavement rehabilitation project. We received a letter from Wisconsin DOT that the state is going to mill and overlay the pavement from the Highway 64 to Amory Snow Street in the summer of 2022. So that'd be from the roundabout north through Deer Park, St. Croix County, and then in Polk County up to Snow Street in here in Amory. So besides next summer, our Main Street tore up. The following summer, the entrance, the lead into Amory will be tore up also. So. Okay, move on. Officers report, start out with Patty.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. I've been working closely with staff and starting the new year. Tax season started mid-December with taxes for real property and personal property. Property owners are submitting their payments for those taxes. Taxes will be collected here in the city until January 31st, 2020. After that date, the remainder of second half taxes needs to be paid to the Polk County Treasurer. The deadline to pay any second half taxes to them is July 31st, 2020. I'm working on paying our share of January settlement to taxing jurisdictions included on tax bills. There will be a February 18th, 2020 primary election for replacement to fill the vacancy on the ballot left by outgoing Congressman Sean Duffy of District 7. The remaining candidates from that election will move to a final special election on May 12th, 2020. Speaking of elections, I have received all candidate paperwork for the following positions: Mayor Paul Isaacson, Alderperson District 1 Rick Van Blaricum, Alderperson District 2 Tim Strobush, Alderperson at Large left with a vacancy, and Municipal Court Judge Chelsea Whitley. The election for those municipal positions for the city will take place at the presidential preference primary and spring election held on April 7th, 2020. I'm coordinating with Bomar Appraisal, information needed to complete mobile home certifications, excuse me, as well as lottery credits for the January through December 2020 billings. Also updated information needed for the upcoming valuations for the city done for real estate. The staff has been working with MSA, coordinating the Keller Avenue project that will take place starting October 2019, with completion to take place around April of 2021. There are a lot of moving parts and the schedule will move along quickly. We want to be organized and prepared for this nice update to Keller Avenue. We will keep the business owners in close contact for any changes coming their way. Gloria just mentioned Design Amory. I've been attending those meetings. They're in preparation for Design Amory weekend visit, which is happening April 2nd through the 4th. The Design Amory team is formed to allow the community along with the team to voice their ideas, brainstorm opportunities, work with visiting designers, help visualize the future of Amory, as well as participate in designing or defining who Amory is and intentionally creating a legacy for Amory. I, along with management analyst Ben Jansen, as well as other representatives, have been attending civic web training. We are updating the website to make it easier to maneuver. Please look for the updates in the near future.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Betty. Ben?
Good evening, everybody. Over the last 6-ish weeks, I've been working on a lot of reconciliations, 16 months worth of all our smaller accounts. So the police uniform account, CDBG grant account, general savings, microloan fund, and then the 3 Wisconsin credit union accounts. Aside from that, I started working on the job descriptions for you guys. I should have them ready for the finance meeting on the 28th. I'm continuing working with the Regional Planning Commission for the Safe Routes to School program. They sent me a letter requesting a whole bunch of information. I sent that off to the school district and should have the answer Friday, actually. I'm still doing my WISFO training kind of piecemeal as I have time. I did work with Patty to contact the nursing homes in town to get their absentee ballot rosters updated and then update our roster before we send them out. And then finally, Paul, you gave me some documents, might have been 2 weeks ago, to look at and update. So I've been looking at the comprehensive plan, Parks and Rec plan, capital improvement plan, documents like that.
Good. Thank you, Ben. Tom?
We knew there was a pattern to this. Right down the line. Good evening, welcome to 2020. Hope everyone had a good holiday season there. I provided to the council media and by email the other, the free press and the radio stations, our activity reports for the months of November, December. Certainly if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer. And I plan on having our 2019 annual report for next month's meeting there. First off, we've had a couple of changes, or some changes over the past 2 months there with our staff. Officer John Carlson, a veteran officer of our department for many years, retired in November, and I want to thank him for his years of dedicated service to our community there. Also, Assistant Chief Joe Bierkamp recently resigned to become police chief for the Barron Police Department. We wish him well in that position and thank him for his service as well. We also, with the help of Ben and Patty and 3 of our staff members, completed interviews for the hiring process for our first vacancy there. And we'll be asking later that you consider Joshua Tyler for that position there. He's a 25-year-old, currently living in the village of Osceola there. He's worked for us for a short time and also part-time for the village of, or the city of St. Croix Falls there. So we also will be beginning the process to fill the other full-time position, which is going to be a patrol position, and we hope to get that up and running in the next 2 or 3 months. We are expecting the arrival of our new squad here in the next few weeks to replace our 2015 squad. Our budget also is allowing us to update some squad and all of our body cameras there, and I just want to thank the council for their continued support for meeting the needs of our department at the best that they can. As always, if there's any questions or concerns, you can give us a call at our department, 715-268-741, or if it's after hours, 715-485-8300 through the Sheriff's Department. Thank you. Is there any questions?
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Well, if we go right down the order, Amy's next.
Right down the line. Good evening, council and community members. As usual, the library has lots of things going on this month, and I'd just like to highlight a few of the things we have going on. We have a winter reading challenge for kids and teens, started January 2nd and goes through February 29th. Snake Discovery, which will be a no-school day, will be coming to the library on Monday, January 20th at 10:30 for all you snake lovers. We have family game night starting tomorrow night at the Village Pizzeria at 5 o'clock. So we'll be doing it Thursday, January 9th. We'll be doing it February 13th and March 12th. So anyone that's interested in bringing their children to play games can do that tomorrow night at the Village Pizzeria. We have story time every Wednesday, weekly, from January 8th to February 26th at 10:30. We have art club every second Monday of the month at 4 o'clock for grades 4K to 2. We have a tween art remix the second Tuesday of the month for grades 3 through 5 at 4 o'clock. Homeschool Club meets every second Friday of the month. And for those interested, we now have board games that you can come in and play at the library with your families for kids. And then for adults, we started our winter reading, I'm going to mispronounce this, Huga Challenge. And that is a reading challenge for adults. It started Thursday, January 2nd. You come into the library, pick up a bingo card, you work your way through it till the last day of February, and you can win little prizes doing that. And we also now have puzzles and cake pans at the library for checking out. So if anyone's interested in checking out a cake pan or a puzzle, come on into the library. This Saturday, we have Chef Peter Kwong coming to the library to do a cooking demonstration and talk about his book, Have You Eaten? And then Thursday, January 16th at 5:30, we have our third Thursday crafting where we'll be doing button art. And for more information, you can visit our website or look at our Facebook page. Any questions?
Thank
All
you,
right,
Amy.
thank you.
Dale.
I think you should alternate, that way one person has more time to get back here. Good evening, council. This evening I want to, I hope Patty had time to share my notes. I didn't get them submitted until early this morning, so I apologize for that. But a couple notable things on my report. It is my January report and the final report for 2019 combined into one report. If you notice on your colored copy, there's a bunch of text in light blue versus dark, and that is my attempt to make it more readable as far as what we've done in the past and what we want to do this coming year. So the blue is the initiatives that we continue to work on. The black is the things that we've accomplished. Note at the top also that our call runs this year are down quite a bit. 73 less this year than in the past year. We had a total of 104 fire calls, which is down a little bit also. So with that said, I can report that with the last printout of my budget, we are well under budget this last year, quite a bit under budget because of salaries and such. And going forward, I want to also thank people. I don't believe I had an opportunity to do this since the chili feed way back in November. I wanted to thank the community for all their great support at the chili feed. I think that's a great night with the bonfire and the light up the park and everything, and I just see that thing growing so much more. So we wanted to thank everybody for attending that chili feed. It was a lot of fun for us as well. I don't think I have anything else. I think you can read the rest yourself. Is there any questions on what I put out as far as that report? I know it got to you late, so if you do have questions, feel free to give me a call or email me.
What's wrong with the washing machine?
I just found this out yesterday.
Okay.
The Ringer washer is a commercial washer that we use to do our heavy gear in. Rick can vouch for this. It's probably run 200 loads, you know, with gear. We only wash our gear when we go to a fire. And it's a mechanical style timer on it, and the timer went out. $1,500 to replace the timer, or $8,000 for a new one.
Sounds like you're ordering a new timer.
I am.
That's important that we keep that stuff clean,
Right,
especially with the cancer.
and that's a
scares
concern too.
everything that's coming
And
up, so.
the note that you're referring to also includes, we want to reclaim that room's gotten to be, our decon room's gotten to be kind of a storage room.
And with all the things I've been reading with the carcinogens on our gear and stuff, we need to take it more seriously. So we're gonna go through the room, clean it out, get it ready so that the guys can decontaminate their gear, their self a lot better when we get back from fires.
Absolutely.
The one the other night was a good example of it. We had some pretty sooty stuff, so.
Also, what about, and I know this is probably getting off track, foam? Are you
Yes.
using foam, or are you upgrading to the newer foam?
We will be, as soon as there's a viable alternative, we will upgrade. That's another concern. Foams have been on the hot burner here for a while now, so.
There's,
With the amount we used the other night, we should be able to cycle into new stuff very soon.
hopefully. Just as long as that's on your radar.
Yep, appreciate that. Another note, just so you know, the truck rubric as far as replacement and stuff, we keep that on the front burner too, to keep up on that. We'll be working with the new committee set up by the mayor to do that, so.
Thank you, Dale.
Thank you.
Jeff?
Well, hello everyone. I'm Jeff. I'm just a fill-in for Bones. Like you know, we've been busy with the snow, and then it thaws, and then it freezes, and it thaws, and then it freezes. So we've got kind of a mess out there right now. The guys have been working hard at it, but we're doing what we can. Been doing a lot of vehicle maintenance, blade changes, and welding of the plows. And then we had our little 1-ton dump truck. The underneath of the frame completely rotted out under the box, so they got that completely fixed. Did a real good job on that. That's up and going. Been repairing some of the major pumps at the sewer plant. Then we got into construction. Had a leaky roof on City Hall. And then some stuff over to the senior center, and then the library. Had a little problems over there. Little sheetrocking and bookshelf fixing. So we've been doing a little everything, and yeah, Christmas lights are down. If anybody's got Christmas trees they need to get rid of, you can call the shop and we'll open it up anytime you want to dump and let you in. That's about it. And thank you guys for your support.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to committee reports. It looks like the only committee reports we have to report on are the Finance and Personnel Committee reports. And there's 3 of them, looks like.
On the right page. So November 19th, Finance Personnel met. We approved Dan Kegley from REM Inspections for doing our building and electrical inspector contract. We also talked about contribution to the Design Amory project. And I think we voluntold Patty that she's going to be part of that. So thank you, Patty, for stepping up. So, we also talked about, a little bit about the positions at the front office. And we also approved the contract for Wisconsin Professional Police Association, which is the police department contract. Moving on to December 6th, we talked, Chief Marson briefed us on the filling of a police officer position, which we will hear more on later tonight. And then we went into closed session, and when we came out, we did not do anything. And then last night, we met, and they're not in here. We discussed a number of topics last night. Several topics we sent back for more information, including changes to ordinance 03-15, which is the code fee schedule for the city of Amory. There was a couple proposals that were changed, but we also looked at some other proposals, and Patty and Ben are going to review it further and bring it back to finance for approval. We discussed the developers agreement between the city of Amory and Dick's Fresh Market for his project he's got going on out there. We're going to discuss that later as well. And then we also, excuse me, I'm doing this kind of on the fly. We discussed and forwarded to city council a budget request to update for a TID 7 professional services, a budget change to increase the fee amount in that account code, which we will pass in a little bit as well. And then we also went into closed session last night, and there will be some discussion further about that later tonight. Questions, comments, concerns? Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Okay, next we'll move on to minutes. We have minutes to approve from November 6th, November 19th, November 20th, and December 6th.
Can we do them all at once, or do we have to make?
It's consent.
Okay,
Okay,
so we don't need, do we need to make a motion? No?
yes.
Yes, I move to accept the minutes of those meetings, November 6th, November 19th, November 20th, and December 6th for the various committees.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, let's move on to new business. Resolution 01-2020, budget amendment, TID number 7.
So this is a budget amendment we discussed last night. Originally, when the budget was drafted, the professional services for AEDC, Amory Economic Development Corporation, was set at $7,500. That should have been $15,000. The $7,500 was one part of that payment. The change is for $9,000 to include the additional $7,500 for Amory Economic Development Corp, and then the balance of it is for Polk County EDC membership
In tourism.
and tourism center.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the budget change to 16.5 for that line item.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, as Tom said, and we, in discussion, John Carlson, after many years of being on the police force, has retired, and we wish him well. And Joe Bierkant, again, many years on the police force, has moved on to Chief of Police at Barron, Wisconsin. So, any discussion or forward? Okay. Appoint election inspectors for 2020 to 2021.
And Sean Dorfler, he left. He does not want to do it any longer, so there's 2 appointments for the library. That will fill his position.
Oh,
This is election.
election.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, yes, election inspectors for 2020 to 2021. And, let's see if I can find that.
Page 14.
Yeah, it's hard to figure out which
Yeah,
thing
it's
is which.
here.
Yeah, it's, I can read them off if you'd like.
Okay, Wendy
Okay, I've got
Bachman.
Wendy Bachman,
Yep,
Mary Bolter, Karen Christopherson, Cheryl Forshare, Lois Kressel, Diane Lucas, Julie Riemenschneider, Kathy Serjord, Lois Van Summeren, and Sylvia Wyan. And I had a last minute addition to that, Kay Erickson would like to be part of that as well.
okay.
Yep.
Motion to approve election workers for 2020, 2021 term.
So move.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
think there's 5 elections this year. It's gonna be a busy year for them.
It will, yep.
And we have Teresa here from MSA to talk about the Keller Avenue project.
Yeah.
Okay, if you would step up to the podium, then
It's here.
everybody can hear you.
All right.
No,
So my name is,
they're two the same.
sorry. So my name is Teresa Anderson. I work at MSA with, you're probably more familiar with Dave Rasmussen
Yes,
and
there you
Eric
go.
Evenson. Being here at your meetings, but with the shift in your meeting date to the second Wednesday, they both had conflicts. So I get the pleasure of being here with you fine folks this evening. My understanding is that you have not met since November, so our project update covers things that have been happening with the Keller Avenue project since that time. I think most of you had received this in your packets. So there was a meeting with the DOT in November with DOT, MSA, and city staff to talk about different things that have been going on with the project and that have come up with the, during the design. One of the major things that has risen to the surface is that one block of your city sidewalk, the street was widened out, but the right-of-way was never widened out. And so what has been being considered public sidewalk is actually located on private property. And because you have federal funds going towards the construction of this project through the CDBG grant, there's a procedure that needs to be followed for property acquisition. There's some pretty rigorous rules and procedures that need to be followed. So I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but that is something that came up and will need to be addressed. We're continuing to work on the design of the project. There was a schedule provided in that update that's in your packets, so you can see that we'll be ready for construction in 2021, starting right away in the spring. And the DOT plans to do their final lift of pavement in October 2021. So this will all take place next summer. And there was also a letter attached to that update that we had sent to the property owners along the project, just to kind of let them know that the project's gonna happen. Here's what's gonna happen. We are compiling a list of email addresses for people who kind of have an interest in the project, that we can provide updates to those people. And so if you know of people who should be on that email address, maybe they can email lists, they can contact Patty, and Patty will get those email addresses to us. And then when there's project updates that go out, we can use that email, which is more efficient than trying to mail things to people or that type of thing. Are there questions in general before I address the right-of-way issue?
No.
Okay. So with the federal right-of-way, I should say there's 40 parcels that need to have some type of acquisition. There's 40 parcels affected by the project, where the sidewalk's on private property or where the DOT needs to add some turn signals, or not turn signals, signal lights, stoplights. And so the DOT realized that they need right-of-way acquisition about at the same time that we were realizing that we needed it for sidewalk. And if the DOT had to do their own right-of-way acquisition, it basically would mean they have to stop their project and start all over with the right-of-way acquisition included. So they would like to work with the city, have the city acquire those parcels, there's about 3 of them, as part of your right-of-way acquisition procedures, and then they will kind of quid pro quo somewhere on the project with maybe some extra project work from their project, kind of go back and forth. So you pat their back, they pat yours, essentially. So there's 2 steps to the right-of-way acquisition process. The first is considered survey work, although most of it is paperwork survey work, not in the field that we typically consider survey. So a professional land surveyor has to write legal descriptions and draw up a relocation plat and that type of thing. So MSA did put together a proposed contract for that work. Then after that work is done, which is about a 3-month process to get that all completed,
there's the actual right-of-way process where each of the property owners is contacted, they're notified that the city needs to acquire some property from them, they're told what their rights are, appraisals get done, property gets valued, that type of thing. There's a lot of contact with the property owners. And then at some point, a value gets placed on that parcel, and that parcel is purchased and made into right-of-way. For most people, that's gonna be like an 8-foot strip at the front of their lot, where there already is sidewalk now, they're not gonna notice much of a change. It's just making it right that the city sidewalk is on city property instead of being on private property. It does not change any arrangements for who maintains that sidewalk. Your City of Amory sidewalk ordinance will apply to that sidewalk after the project, just the same as it does right now. So that's basically the situation. What we've done is we, like I said, MSA prepared a proposed contract for the survey work. We also have a right-of-way acquisition team that works primarily on DOT projects, but it's the same federal procedures for acquisition that the DOT uses that you need to use because you have the CDBG grant. So we had those folks, that team of people, prepare a proposal for you. And knowing that because you don't do right-of-way acquisition projects all the time and that the number might seem relatively high, we also got a competing proposal from CORE, which is an engineering group out of Eau Claire that also does right-of-way acquisition. So you could see that, we're in the same ballpark. MSA is a little bit more expensive. We'd tell you that we probably take more time talking with each of the property owners, making sure everybody's comfortable, knows what their rights are, feels like they've gotten a fair deal, so that there's less chance of a lawsuit or somebody slowing the project down and saying, no, I want to get my own appraisal. Because at any point, a property owner can say, no, I'd like to get my own appraisal, and then you have to stop and wait 60 days for them to do that. So, time is money on a project like this too, and so we would hope that we'd be able to keep that process moving. I do have copies of both of those, the survey proposed contract and the right-of-way acquisition, and so I can leave those with you folks if you, do you think that'd be a good idea to leave?
Just a question, since we have a resident city surveyor, he's not a city surveyor, but he lives,
Yeah.
75 feet from the project that's going on. And I know that he's very familiar with that type of thing, because he just did one for our church.
Okay,
And he pays taxes in the city.
yeah. If you would like to get a proposal from him,
I would, I mean, if we have a city resident that,
yep,
that,
yes.
does that, and
Yep. If you'd like to, I don't know if we could let you guys know exactly what's required, and then he'd be able to provide a
yeah, well,
proposal.
I know he just did one because our church bought some property on Broadway, and that was one of the things with do all those properties have to have a CSM now?
No, there just needs to be they get a title search, and as long as there's a deed and you can define what the property is, that those boundaries don't have to be redefined. And they'll do a relocation plat that would cover multiple lots.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we could get you guys a list of, here's the parcels, here's what would be required, and if you'd like to get a proposal from somebody local, that would be
Sure.
fine. We were thinking that MSA might be able to be more efficient with it, just because we have a lot of the data in our system already, but we could work that out for how that would get shared, so yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to do that. I mean,
Okay,
get somebody that pays taxes, you might just.
I
use them if they have
understand the sentiment,
expertise,
yeah. Would you like the council to each have a copy of?
I have a copy of them. I'll give them to Patty. She can put them up on our SharePoint.
Okay,
And then
Yeah,
everybody.
that'd be fine.
okay, okay,
And she's bringing this to the council tonight just as informational. It'll go in front of finance and
Okay.
February, well, end of January, and then we'll bring it back to next council meeting for approval.
Yeah.
Of the contracts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Timing is, I don't know if I mentioned timing on this at all, it's fairly critical. It takes a couple of months for the survey work to get done, and that all needs to happen before the right-of-way acquisition. And that right-of-way acquisition is 150 to 180 days without any holdups. So you would be looking at pretty much November, December, January by the time this process gets done, and that's about the time frame when you want to be bidding your work. So it would be pretty crucial to get this decided in February. So, any other questions? Thank you guys for your time. Appreciate it.
Next on the agenda is the Main Street back alley improvement. In finance last night, we decided that I will write a letter to all the business owners on Main Street to ask for their suggestions on how to move forward with the back alley improvement for our shutdown of Main Street in 2021. That will include updates to your back door, the entrance area, signage, and what else has to be done. So, and get your suggestions on how to move forward to make it as easy as possible for everybody. And their suggestions will greatly help, and we'll get this thing moved forward. Then we have schedule of feed, which I believe we postponed. There's more things on the fee schedule than what we wanted to tackle at this point. So we're gonna move forward on that. Next on the agenda, the standard development agreement that we have. We came up with a standard development agreement. Tim, do you wanna, this was in finance.
You're doing good.
All right. We have a standard development agreement that we came up with Dave Rasmussen from MSA, put this together. We took the draft and sent it over to Paul Mahler, our city attorney. He returned it with a few changes, legal changes. And we, last night, we said, let's go forward with the changes and move forward and get this developer agreement to Doug at Dick's Market. So that would be an action item, I believe.
I make a motion to approve the developer's agreement with Dick's Fresh Market as it is proposed.
Second?
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. As far as the Amory Theater goes, we had quite a bit of discussion. We have a interested party in planning would like to buy it. I went to the bank. As of now, he cannot buy it because he could not get a loan, because the loan that it's gonna take to fix it up, to get it up to standard conditions, or usable conditions, will be more than the building is worth when he's done. So we're gonna look forward to more, think outside the box here and how we can save that building. So that's moved on to a future time. And then we'll move on to Tom. Police officer, do you have any more to say about that?
No, just to refresh people there, we did interviews here just about 3 weeks ago. I had Ben, Patty, and 3 of our staff in there, and we conducted the interviews there, and now I'd like to bring forward Joshua Tyler for consideration of a full-time police officer for our police department there. That would be about it, and I can certainly have him in the next council meeting, February, March, to introduce himself there. We'd be looking at a start date probably of February 4th, so.
Make a motion to approve Joshua Tyler for the position of full-time police officer effective February 4th, 2020.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. Budget Amendment 10-7, I believe we took care of that first. First item on the resolution. Then let's move on to Library Board appointments to replace Sean Dorfler. And Patty, now you're on.
Okay. Amy had proposed to me that she received from Sean Dorfler regarding the school district rep. He is stepping down as a township rep, and she has two individuals who are going to represent the school district. And that's Annie Broughton and Greta McCarty, and they'll share that spot. So they'll be effective, is it 2020 to 2021? 22, okay. So anyway, that's what we're looking for approval for the library.
So they will they'll still only have one vote for the two.
Correct.
Yeah.
They'll just take turns. They won't both be there.
Okay.
They'll just,
Move to approve those two names to the library board.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Closed session, Wisconsin statute 1985-1E, deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business, whenever competitive bargaining reasons require a closed session. Wisconsin statute 1985-1G, conferring with legal counsel for the government body who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is or likely to become involved.
Motion to go into close?
Second. Roll call?
Strobush.
Yes.
Riemann Schneider.
Yes.
Van Blaricon.
Yes.
Isaacson.
Yes.
Vicker.
Yes.
Planum.
Yes.
Leonard.
Yes.
5 minutes,
Okay, we're now back in open session.
Are you gonna give some history on this?
Should I?
I think so.
Okay. I can't give all the history, but I can give some history going forward is due to unforeseen circumstances, staying with in the condo association building, it turned out to be beyond our means. So I went to Bremer Bank, and I said this would make a nice library and city offices. And the Bremer Bank says, hey, we'd like to sell and build brand new downtown. That being said, we went to Amory Hospital and clinic and asked them if we could get out of their condo association, and they agreed for a price. And then we went to the Bremer and said we would like to move forward and purchase your building if you were going to build a brand new building downtown. And it all came to fruition today, actually this afternoon. Bremer has placed earnest money down, a piece of property in Amory, and is ready to move forward, and I believe we are ready to move forward also. This is going to be a trying time for the next year, but we have to look forward to this positively and get this done and work on things. Yeah, the next year is going to be pretty tough. But the main goal here is get the library moved, and it's up and running. Get the new Bremer Bank building built and get them moved, and then reconfigure the rest of the bank building into city offices for police department and more library space, city hall, municipal court, Friends of the Library, and Amory Historical Society. And I think that moving forward, this is going to be a nice addition, especially for people in the city of Amory. All our services will be in one building downtown. They will, people driving through town will actually know where the city hall is for a change. We have a building here that can probably be repurposed maybe. Or we have a lot downtown that we'll have to worry about in a year from now. Keeping it maintained for now is going to be enough work for us. Police department's going to be a tough move, for a temporary move, very temporary. But as we go forward, the city council has decided this is the best thing for Amory. So, with that being said,
Make a motion to approve the purchase agreement with Bremer Bank for $350,000.
I'll second it.
any further discussion?
Roll
Roll
call,
call.
please.
Yeah.
Strobush,
Yes.
Freeman Schneider,
Yes.
Van Blaricon,
Yes.
Isaacson,
Yes.
Vicker,
Yes.
Flanum,
Yes.
Leonard.
Yes.
Okay,
And I would make a motion that we proceed with the sale agreement of our share of the condo to Amory Hospital, with I guess I didn't put any figures on it, but we're getting some money,
Yeah.
some money back for it. I don't know just if that will depend on how long we're in that building, how much we get back, but, at least to proceed forward with that sale.
I'll second it.
any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And I will make the final motion to go forward with the RFP for reconfiguring the Bremer Building, AKA City Hall.
Library, police department.
I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.